Are we on? Are we on? Are we on? I think we're on. Boys, good evening. How are we? I'll wait for people to get in before I start waffling. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's been quite a quiet weekend, really, for Barnsley. And I thought we'd have been busy. And there's not a lot that's happened. Well, there's nothing that's happened. There's literally nothing that's happened. Apart from the Rangers result, which we'll talk about. But there's a few different talking points that I want to get across. I'll wait for the people before I start waffling and going off on one, so people don't just come in and hear me just mid conversation talking to myself. Oh, how are we, la? Are we all right, guys? Good day, good weekend, good life. Are we all doing good? Okay, right. Let me address that straight away because I've been live. What, 1 second? Once it comes through onto here. 1 second. It's not come through just yet. We'll wait for it to come through. Hold on, guys. Sorry, if you're watching this on a video afterwards, I'd just skip like 2 minutes until it like catches up with everything, because I have to wait for the comments to like filter through so I can click on them properly. There we go. Where's my Albion vlogs, brother? I've been live 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Thank you for the 5, mate. West Bromwich Albion have submitted an offer for John Bulungi, Hyundai 25-year-old winger. John Jingwoo. What is your opinion on it? I've no idea who that is. Bro, I have no idea who John Jin-woo is. Respectfully. I'm sure he's great, but I have not got a clue, bro. I ain't got a clue. I don't know anything about that striker that you've brought in, but he looks alright from goal telly. You know what, I'll tell you after the first week. Once I've watched one game, I'll make my definitive opinion on him, and then I'll not change it ever. But thank you, mate. I appreciate the 5 instantly. But I wish I had an answer for you, mate. I wish I had an answer, but I don't. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Right. Thank you, Mr. West Brom. Right. Let's address the immediate thing, which is like right there. I don't know what's happening with Koroma. Literally no idea. I'm just gonna go against what I've done. I'm gonna just scroll through this shit quickly. I don't know where Koroma is. I don't know if he's got lost. I don't know if he's on holiday. I don't know what the hell is going on. The last I heard, which were probably going on what, like last Wednesday, now something like that, is that it were all done. He was in the building. I'll tell you all now. I saw a photo of him in the ground. I saw a photo of him inside of the ground, so I know he was there. The players were told that it's done. For him to now, like, everybody knows it's done. He's done the media. It's all there. It's in a file on the computer at the ground, ready to go. I don't know what's happened. It was his agent being a cunt to start with. Oh, sorry, let's bleep that word out. It was his agent being a sausage to start with. But I don't know what crack is anymore. You can only assume that it's not going to happen now, which is very Barnsley. It's happened many times. We had that bloke from Go Ahead Eagles, and he was pictured doing training. He was training with lads, and they got photos of him and everything, and then he pulled out last second. So, if it is his agent trying to get more money, then he's in wrong place, bro. Like you just said, Jacob, there, it's his agent trying to get more money. I'm not being funny. You're coming to the wrong club. You're coming to the wrong club. I do believe, seriously, that even though his owner said all this about selling players, I think we're sat on like a half-decent budget, me. Personally. I think we sat on like, maybe, I'm not saying not crazy, I reckon we sat on like maybe £1 million max to spread across everything. But I do think we've got a decent kitty there, especially in wage department. I know Barnsley don't offer good wages, like at all. Even when we get promoted, we don't, like in Championship, we don't offer good wages, like notoriously. But with like Humphries run a lot of money. We've released like 7 players. The loans have gone back. You know what I mean? Consistently, year after year, people continuously reference as accounts from when we first got relegated to League One. Mate, we've reduced it by probably 60 grand a week since. Like, our wage bill cannot be high at all. It can't be high. And we're desperate for a winger. He's been in building. Everything's done. I don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand. If he's going and touting around, like, maybe he's gone to, like, Leyton Orient or a Stockport, maybe some of these sides that are apparently similar to Barnsley level-wise now these days, apparently, and trying to get more money out of that. I could see, like, some London side come in and give him a bit, or maybe there's some vague Championship interest. Maybe someone will come and, like, have him on bench or something. I don't know. But he's not done enough for Huddersfield to warrant a Championship move to start in Championship. Rotherham, to be fair, Rotherham have got some brass. Rotherham chuck a lot of their money at front, like at forward line, and expect to get promoted. Obviously, they have just had to pay like a couple $100,000 to Johnson Clark-Harris just to sack him off because he were on $8,000 a week apparently. Clark-Harris, from what I got told by a certain player at one point. But I just don't understand. I just don't understand this. A winger is so clearly what we're desperate for. So this just makes complete sense in terms of the things that Barnsley can actually attract. So what's in Barnsley's budget first off, which Koroma is. I'm not bothered what anybody says about his wage maybe being a bit high. Koroma is definitely in our budget, and what is a player that would kind of bring in to do what we want to do, which is get out of this shit all. Sure, he'd be one of, well, he was Huddersfield's top goal scorer last season. This is only league, by the way. Them stats are only in league. 12 goals, 2 assists. He's still fairly young. He's not a spring chicken by any stretch of imagination. But he's not McGoldrick. Do you know what I mean? There is quite a middle ground, and I think he's a great age, really. Great age! He's not 18 for him to come in. I just don't understand. I just do not understand why this hasn't been done yet. Me, personally. But looking at, like, realistically what we've got right now, obviously we've got Cleary as well, and I'm going to go into a like point that I think Urian's going to change how we play personally. I think we saw towards back in the season, once Urian got a grip on things properly, it were very much done as a false nine. We're going to have wingers that are seriously touchline, as back four a lot of time didn't get forward a great deal, really, for being serious. And as midfielder have very forward thinking with how we played last season. This weren't the formation. It were more O'Connell on his own as a 6, weren't it? And then 2 8s, mainly Phillips and Russell, that have pushed a lot further forward. So that is partly why we concede so many goals. Because it's all right just looking at keeper and defence and thinking it's most we've conceded in this league ever last season, which is true. But it is just more than the keeper's job to stop a goal going in. It does start from done backwards. And as midfield have notoriously been shit at defending since we got relegated in first place. I'm going to quote Darren Moore right now. Oh, bear in mind, the reason we lost at Wembley against Wednesday, we should have been promoted. We were better than them that game, and we got robbed, realistically, with Phillips' not with the red card, but Kitchen should have had a penalty before. But we got absolutely scammed, and I will take that to grave with me that we got scammed at Wembley. But Darren Moore said to Wednesday players at half-time and before game, and he rammed it into them every time they got a break, full 90, half-time, extra time, half-time, everything. If you get a cross, drag it back to edge at box because none of the midfielders track the runs. And that's exactly what happened. It has been a thing season after season, game after game for the longest. Even if you watch the highlights against Rangers, it's safe. It's a cut across box. We don't score. We don't concede from edge at box. We don't concede screamers. We concede from a winger running down line, taking piss out of his fullback most of the time, and dragging it back to, more often than not, a midfielder that's run past our Connell, Phillips, Russell, because none of them are good enough at defending, realistically. Maybe Connell in first season were alright, but notoriously, our midfield is not good enough at defending. Herbie Kane was same. It's all same. They're not good enough at defending, right? So I think we will change, personally. I think it'll be... Bland genuinely looks like the best defensive midfielder that we've got. Seriously. Connell gets stuck in, but it can be skipped. I think Connell sometimes. And I really like him, and I'm glad the Wickham stuff has died down because I want him to stay. But I think we could go to... Especially if we are going to play wingers, and you saw the scores of the last few games, like when Urian took charge, it were very much like 4-2s, 3-1s. There were a lot of goals at either end, which is great for an entertainment value, but we did win 2 out of about 10. And don't get me wrong, when we absolutely thrashed Reading and Bolton, we were very good in both them games, but that's mainly because we can sit back and spring on counter-attack. At home, it's always been a problem where we can't break sides down. And I do feel like having a little bit more control with 2 more defensive-minded midfielders, if you play both Connell and Bland, works better than just having Connell and pushing Phillips or Russell or Bland, anybody, Jorgensen, and all of them further up. And I feel like the midfielders that we've got at minute suit that more. I do feel like Phillips is the one that's probably going to be sold anyway, still. Despite being... I got told at start of transfer... Well, when season ended, that Connell were going to be a big sale. So the Wickham stuff never surprised me. But maybe Urian has really pushed for him to stay. So who really knows? But I do think we will... go more to maybe having two defensive-minded midfielders with a Russell or a Yoga Nathan, or maybe McGoldrick sits and comes in there as well, which I will go on to in a minute. Right. Craig, thank you for the 5. Long-time follower here. What's your thoughts on Carlisle United in National League next season? Keep up the work, EFL expert. All right, man. EFL expert, yeah. Jesus Christ. Thank you for 5. I mean, just stature of club you'd expect to be up there anyway. You're keeping Mark Hughes, aren't you, as well, which helps. And you must have a big budget compared to some other sides in there, really. I'd think. I do think York will finish above you, but you should be a given for top 7, really. Surely to God. Should be an absolute given for top 7. I don't think you'll win league, because I think it's York's for taking, really. They absolutely slapped it up for the majority of the year, didn't they? And then they got dicked by Yoga Nathan for all of them. But I think you'll get top 7. I hope you get promoted, because I liked it at your place. I thought you could do a rate game. In League 1, I think we'll bet you 3-2. I'll come on a Tuesday night. But yeah, thank you for 5, mate. I do appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Kiss. Do you think we'll keep Russell? I think Barnsley would rather keep him and let him go for a free and try and get promoted, rather than sell him for like what teams are going to offer, which is probably about 500 grand. I think it makes no sense to sell a player of that caliber when we could try get promoted and then maybe keep him anyway. You know what I mean? Farouj Wings Grim. By all accounts, he'll be playing really good in pre-season. He's got a scream at first game. He had a really good shot against Rangers first half, and he looked good again there, which is going to bring me on to the next point. That Craig, thank you again, mate. I do appreciate it a lot. Legend. Right. I think we're going away from what Urian looked like we were going to do at start, which were very, very touchline wingers, Jello, Humphreys. Obviously, I wanted to keep Humphreys, and maybe not getting him is what's making Urian potentially change his play style. But I think we're now going for players that traditionally when you look at a team sheet and you look at the positional play like this, players that would traditionally be straight down middle, but do like to drift quite wide. And when you look at the players that we've actually brought in so far, we brought in 4 players, right? And the 2 attackers that we brought in, McGoldrick is naturally a central forward or a 10 that drifts wide. It was exact same for Notts County. Notts County played with Jatta as striker, and they had McGoldrick and Grant just behind him that would peel wide and create width as well. You know what I mean? Because then your wing backs, well, we're going to push as fullbacks very high up. I think the better signing shows that as well. A fullback that can't defend to save his life is obviously going to be bombing up and going down where McGoldrick's going to be most of the time. He's going to be like a left winger or better, you'd think. But McGoldrick is someone that naturally is quite central, that peels wide. Cleary is the exact same thing. Cleary's the exact same. For West Brom, notoriously, he was a striker. I asked Garrett this. I was like, because everybody's like, he was playing left wing back or left wing for Hartlepool and he was tearing it up. But Garrett said throughout all at kids and when everybody's been hyped and he was getting linked to like Dortmund and these boys when he was a young'un, he was always a striker, but he does drift wide. Who else is the exact same thing? Farouja, by all accounts, has started quite well. But when you're a left footer on right wing, you're going to sit a little bit inwards. I think he's same. I think we're going down that route of play. Maybe we're going to play a bit like Notts County. Not in terms of going forward. I think we'll be quite narrow, and the width, majority of the time, will come from as fullbacks. I think it's going to be a very compact pitch with just 2 players really, really high and wide. I imagine that's where it's going to be. Especially with the Ogbeta thing. It makes no sense, the Ogbeta signing, for a back 4, really, because he can't defend. So it makes absolutely no sense bringing in a fullback that's just going to bomb up 24/7 to play back 4. And I think that's why we're seeing Dijavinier at right back as well. Because naturally, when we're going forward, Ogbeta's going to be really high and wide, and then Dijavinier is going to tuck in, and it'll end up being like a back 3 anyway. So just because it looks like this on a team sheet, I don't think it will play like this in game. And I think Bland, they're shoving Bland in. I'm telling you, they're really, really ramming Bland down his throat, aren't they? Because he can cover that right side as well, really well. And I think Connell could do it left, and I think that works quite well. But we are desperate for wingers. Let's not get it wrong. We are absolutely desperate, like disgustingly desperate for wingers. It's long. It is so long. I might just deluded myself, really. I like to think we're doing all right, really. But am I actually just deluding myself to like, to the point of no return? Is that where I'm at? Is that actually where I'm at? Because we're still absolutely desperate for a winger. Absolutely desperate. McGoldrick has said in the interview that he wants to come in and win player of the year and stuff, all this stuff. So McGoldrick is not coming in to be on bench, I'm telling you. He ain't coming in. He ain't coming in to just sit on bench. Absolutely nowhere. We still need a right back. Dijavinier is apparently playing half decent, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched any pre-season games because I didn't go to the first two because I was on holiday. And obviously Rangers one were behind closed doors. But we played the first half on the highlights. We played really good against Rangers. But even just from the highlights, it was very clear that Roberts ain't got it anymore. Roberts is too slow. He's definitely going to be a bench option. Obviously Earl weren't playing. There were a lot that weren't playing. Roberts ain't going to play. Dijavinier got done a few times, but the left winger had a lot of space due to what was very clearly a back four that shifted into a back three. Ogbeta got caught out a few times, but that's because of how high and wide he is. Do you know what I mean? We definitely need a right back, but it needs to be someone that can play both. You know, like Earl could go left back if needed. I feel like that is what we need for right back spot. We do need a midfielder, but I think that's based on Phillips leaving, that we need a midfielder as well. Jorgensen's going to get a lot of game time as well for Russell, I would think. I think they're going to do a lot of interchanging. Jorgensen's going to come off bench quite a lot. If Bland don't start, he's going to be exact same. But we are absolutely desperate for wingers. Absolutely desperate. And if I remove the players that really aren't good enough as for right now, I think you're probably looking at something like this. Me personally. Michael says, why have a defender who can't defend? Can't be too narrow that didn't work last time round. Crying out for wide players, or is it clearly wide right for Uja, wide left, and DKD for middle fit till Jallo's fit? I think the width will come from. I do think when Jallo's fit, he will provide it on right hand side. But I do think the width, while ever Gent's injured and Ogbeta starts, is going to be Ogbeta out wide. I think that is where the main width is going to come from. Me personally. I genuinely think I could see once McGoldrick's fit, and obviously there's two friendlies left, isn't there? There's Harrogate and York. I think on the last friendly, is it York the last one? I reckon he starts McGoldrick out on left wing. Well, on paper, starts on left wing. I think he will naturally be sat quite inside, but he's going to drift wide quite a lot. Me personally, and then Ogbeta can get round him, create a lot of space for him. Very Adam Amel vibes. I think McGoldrick will just pull a lot of goals and points out of his ass for us, me personally. And maybe he does come off bench. But we always talking, I don't think he's come to sit on bench. I think he's come to try and start every week. Do you feel McGoldrick isn't... Well, let me read that one as well. Let me get that up. Do you feel McGoldrick isn't really good enough with you taking him out of the lineup now? No, I just think this is very clearly going to be core squad to me. I think the spine is absolutely nailed on to be this. Based on amount of game time that Urian is giving certain players, based on Phillips looking inevitable that he's leaving, and the fact that we still obviously wanting wingers. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, another one, Alfie Chang wasn't building, and he signed, and he failed his medical. So that's another one, a midfielder that we're clearly looking for. So I think it feels like inevitable that a midfielder's going to come in. As left-back situation is sorted, because obviously Ogbeta's going to start, and then once Gent's fit, I think he just pushes him out. I think Gent starts once he's back and fit. O'Keefe is not getting any game time, so he's going to be gone. I'd feel like Lofthouse is going to be another one that's going to be gone. So naturally, a right back. If Dijavinier is just a stopgap there for now, I do think a right back / right centre back that can play there is almost nailed on to happen as well. I almost don't think we'll bring a right winger in, me personally, because Jallo is effectively what the club is seeing Jallo as, this absolute diamond that we've got. That if he can stay fit for more than 5 minutes and just run at a man in this division, your asking price is just going through roof. It's just going to be ridiculous. The Premier League and Serie A sides looking at him before he'd even had a kick. Really, he scored millions of goals for kids. Since he got injured first time and he didn't look like a man. He looked like a boy that was shoved into men's game. When he come back last time, he looked fitter, stronger, He clearly been at gym. I think Jallo's going to make us a lot of money, and I think club know that, which is why I think they will just stay with the Farrugia right wing for now, and then bring Jallo in as soon as he's fit and just start him every week. But I do think a left winger is something that we're clearly looking for. I reckon, genuinely, I don't think we're going to get as many players in as we probably think. But I also don't think we're a million miles off being half decent. Me, personally. I think the core of that is very good. Genuinely, I think the core of that is very good. I know Shepherd's not a new signing, but he effectively is. Like, from the board are obviously going to play it as, oh, we've got League Two's best centre-back coming in, which we did that with Dunn, and look what that's turned out. Do you know what I mean? I think give Shepherd a chance and he could be really good. Earl is the only defender from last season that I personally would keep. I think rest of them is shit. Digivinia at right back's a different story. Maybe he can be half decent there. But Earl is the only one that I would have wanted to keep from the players that were starting consistently last season for us. But I do think they will definitely start as his main two, Shepherd and Earl. I think Bland is being shoved in like there's no tomorrow. So he's going to be playing. Connolly's very good in this league. And again, if you watch highlights against Rangers, I know it's only a friendly. Before everybody starts, it's only a friendly. Who cares? It's only a run out. True. But he looked very good. Very, very good. It looks like he wants it, I would say. And also, I don't think it makes much sense for the club to be selling him. He's at the front of all media stuff. Do you not think? When you're looking at the media side of things, they're quite shy with Phillips. They're not showing a lot of Phillips. They're ramming Connell down his front, like same as Dunn. It's like these are his players. They've done a post about Russell. Phillips ain't getting a lot of love. I feel like he's clearly on way out. Whereas Connell, I don't think Connell will leave me. Just me being 100 emoji right now. I don't think he'll leave, and I don't want him to leave. Russell is absolute quality. We all saw that at back end of last season. And bringing someone like Jorgen Nathan off bench and learning off of McGoldrick and Russell and these type of players, I think Jorgen Nathan by end of next season they'll be pushing for a start anyway. And I could see that maybe being long-term vision that club are going for. Almost like, we're going to start Russell every week, but we're going to bring Jorgen Nathan on a lot. And by end of next season, hopefully Jorgen Nathan looks somewhat like Russell to the point where if we do lose Russell on a free, it's fine because we've got Jorgen Nathan there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't know. Scott says, at bare minimum, we need a left winger, right back / right centre back, and a DM for me. You think we need a midfielder as well? I do think we'll look for one. I like Bland. Seriously. I like Bland. Maybe it's too early to just chuck him in and expect him to be part of a team that's going to get us promoted. But I don't think he's too far off, you know. I do agree. I would probably prefer if Bland and Jorgen Nathan were two that could come off bench, because I think that's serious depth and as long-term future at the heart of that and at core of that. I do agree that I would like a midfielder. Me, I want what's it called? I want George Abbott from Spurs on loan. I'm hoping McGoldrick can put a word in and try and drag him here, but he looked very, very good for Notts County. Very, very good. And William says, if Ogbeta turns out being really good attacking, couldn't we have Ogbeta left wing, Earl left back, Chef left centre back, and New right centre back? But I think it'll work like that anyway. Do you know what I mean? I think just because on paper it looks like a 4-2-3-1 or whatever it is, Ogbeta is going to push so high and wide that Earl is going to be like left centre half anyway. Shepherd will come into middle, and Digivinia will like slot in to make a back three, with Ogbeta being very high on left. Which is why I think it makes sense for McGoldrick to start on left, effectively, like team sheet wise, because once Ogbeta's up there covering that position, McGoldrick can sort of just come in and float around as a spare man, not really being picked up by anybody. And I think he could find some spaces really easily if that is how it is to go. Personally, yeah, I like that Abbott, me. I would like him. Me personally. But one that I've seen as linked with. So if that's the core of the squad, by the way, I'll just touch on this first. If that is core at squad, if that is the spine of the team, obviously we'll like a new midfielder. But that is, with ease, top 6 standard. Easily, you could be the most awful Barnsley fan ever. You could be the most glass half empty man to ever walk this planet. If you don't think the spine of that tide is top 6, you're lost. You're absolutely lost. Cooper last season, you can say like, oh, you're on loan at Stevenage. Stevenage weren't that far off us. in fairness. And defensively, they were miles better than us. It's better than the keeper. It's better than Slanina, that's for damn sure. Slanina was shit by the time he ended up breaking his finger and being out. Slanina was garbage. And I think Flav's not far off being challenging for number 1 anyway. But Cooper is very good. Shepherd were best defender in League 2 last season, with ease. Obviously, Earl has got a lot of experience now. He has a lot of championship experience as well. I think it'd make more sense to take armband off Connell and give it to Earl. But I think Connell will keep it anyway. Early's good. Early's a top... I'm going to say it again, and people will laugh at this. Early's a top 6 standard centre-half easily. I think Shepherd, being best defender in League 2, won't be that far off. Blandit is young, but looks like a very mature head on young shoulders. Connell is obviously top 6 standard, or you won't have Wickham, who've got like unlimited budget, effectively, for this division, trying to buy him. Do you know what I mean? If he were that crap, why would someone with that much money try and buy him? Just shut up. And Russell is obviously championship quality anyway. Dunn is one of, if not best player in the league by an absolute mile. Is comfortably top 3, even with players that have come down. Easily. So, with very good down middle, his width is quite ass. Which is why I think if we get a serious left winger, because when Jallo comes back, he's going to make that position his own anyway. A serious left winger, it needs to be our marquee signing for this window, because we've not made one yet. McGoldrick is good. And like based on what I think McGoldrick is going to be ridiculously good for us. I really do. I think McGoldrick could be seriously extremely underrated just because people look at his age. I think his stats at end of year and points that he's going to pull out of his ball sack for us are going to be outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. So I like that as well. But we need a marquee signing. We need a Koroma. We need someone like, let's get that shit off, like this man. We need someone like this man. Now, if you look at his goals and assists, and if you've got the brain capacity of a chimp, then you're going to think, why should we go for him? Watch him. Just watch him. I'm telling you now, watch him. Oh my God. And he also fits that same narrative, which is traditionally players that like to go down middle, but when you look at the most influence that they have on pitch, and you look at the highlight reel of someone like this, a lot of the time he picks up ball very wide and runs at a man. And I think that is someone that we need. Someone that can cover full front 3. Again, he's an absolute unit. And we're quite a big team, you know. Getting this back up, but Barnsley have got quite a big team. Like, obviously, forget last season. Forget this current system that I've got going on. Roberts is a big lad. Earl is a very, very big lad. McGoldrick's not exactly small. Russell's big. Humphries is fairly tall. We've got, like, a couple giants in there. And Tavid is a very... He just looks like a shit Adama Traore, to be honest. Me being 100 emoji. Right. Jimmy, I'm going to get that comment up because that's absolute ass. Dids it is the marquee signing? Absolutely not. We've spent nothing. We've spent nothing so far. Obviously, we've paid the compensation for clear it. It's going to be about 10 bob. We've paid nothing. The only thing that worries me is... well, as CEO's an absolute toolbox anyway. Like, Stormers, whatever his chuffing name is, he's a dickhead. He is crap at his job. And if I were that bad, I'd be sacked. So how he's still got a job and a swaggy little office, swanky office, I have not got a clue. Not got a clue. Because he come out and said, we're gonna take advantage of a very good free market, right? Which is true. The free agents that have been up for grabs this season have been truly ridiculous. If you're if you're side with any ambition in this league, you look at Huddersfield and the amount that they've picked up on a free, it's top draw. It's really good. They're bringing in Lyndon Gooch apparently as well, another one that's going to cost no. So the frees are really good. Barnsley's only free signing is McGoldrick. Cleary is going to have cost some compensation. And then we brought 2 loans in as well. So where is us taking advantage at free market? The only advantage I can see us having now is Koroma. He's the last one. People are flirting with the idea of Swift, which is outrageous, like absolute chimps, thinking that we're going to get someone like that. Like, oh, hold on, guys. Hold on. He's back chat now. Look at him. Oh, he's back chat. Scurrying away into his little hole. I'm not saying that. I'm saying good luck getting a better player in than him. That's a marquee signing. But I do agree with that side of things. I do agree. That's fair enough. I do agree. But that one is very good. And he's going to score us a lot of goals. So I do agree with that one, Jimmy. Sorry. Joe, thank you for 2. Thoughts on Lyndon Gooch at Mighty Terriers? Oh, my good brother. I just touched on that. I like it. I do like it. And I'm worried for Huddersfield in terms of pace. You definitely need some wingers as well. But I'm worried for you in terms of if you're trying to counter-attack on somebody. I don't know where you're getting it from. Taylor's rapid. Taylor's a very fast striker. But you've not got a lot else that's got some legs that can spring away and like drag you up pitch quite easily. So I feel like if you're getting penned in, which I don't think it'll be, I think it'll be quite rare anyway. I think Huddersfield are going to be a side that's clearly on front foot a lot of time. But I think if you're getting penned in, you will struggle to get out a lot of time because you've not got anybody really that can get you out of pitch apart from Taylor. Dion Charles is slow. Let's go and get Nathan Lowe because he looks like he could knock on. But I do like the Lyndon Gooch signing, but I do think you need a few more. I've got you definitely as a favourite for top 2, definitely. And no one's got complete squad yet because we're in 14th of July. But you're making some good signings. You are making some good signings, Joe. Thank you for £2, mate. I appreciate it a lot. Harness, is Harness fast now? I won't say. I think you're just looking at the size of him and expecting him to be quick. I won't say he's fast anymore, me, Harness. Maybe I'm absolutely miles off there, but I won't say he's the pace that they need. Me personally. Lee, I'm gonna get that message up because I'm deluded like you. So let's get that one up right now. Hold on. Lee says, hopes for Barnsley for 25-26, top 6 and dare I say top 2. McGoldrick and Dunn will be a right force if we can keep hold of Dunn. Apparently he wants to leave. That's bollocks. Oh, Dunn don't want to leave. To my knowledge anyway, Dunn, and take this with a pinch of salt because this were a few weeks ago now, so obviously things can change. But I did get the McGoldrick thing before anybody else, and I did get Humphries to Bradford before anybody else. Apparently Dunn wants to stay. The only club, to my knowledge and what I've been told from, like, I've been told this by 3 different people, including a family members of the boy. The only team that he wants to leave to go to is Middlesbrough. That's it. His house and his wife and his child are up in Middlesbrough. People are linking him to like Oxford and Charlton. If he's going anywhere, he's going further north. Maybe someone like Sheffield United, maybe. Like, that's just like 2 minutes away anyway. But he ain't going further away from his house and his wife and his kid than he is. He don't live with them. They're up in Middlesbrough. So if Middlesbrough come in, then I'd be worried. But other than that, Dunn ain't leaving. So there's no to worry about there. We're going to have comfortably one of the best attacking lineups in the league. Easily. Oh, you know what? That's made me quite happy, that. Just a little rant there. I'm quite happy. Thanks, Lee. You've deluded me. Thanks, mate. Where's your message gone? Top 2, not yet. I think we're a given for top 6. I think people are sleeping on us a little bit. I think we're an absolute given for top 6. Me, personally. I really do. I think we're absolutely nailed on for it. Just the amount of goals that we're going to score. And defensively, we are going to be better anyway already by doing very little. We brought 4 signings in, and we already look twice as good as we did last year. But I do think we're a given for top 6. Top 2, I don't think we're there yet because you're looking at like Luton and Huddersfield really as your main 2. Stockport are looking quite nice, to be honest. Reading have got some very good players, but not the squad for it yet. And I don't think we're there yet. If we sort us width out, if we go and get some very, very good left winger, and maybe if we do go and make a solid signing in middle to go next to like Connell and Russell, then I might start saying some absolutely ludicrous stuff. And I do think we could start quite fast. I initially looking at it, you don't want to play someone like Plymouth first game, do you? Because they're coming down. They might not have sold all the players by that point. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the better players might get moves towards back end at window. Like, obviously, we took Dunn late on after he played against us for Mansfield. But I think Plymouth, obviously it being the longest away day and they're going to be one of the best sides in the league, I quite like the idea of playing them really early, me. I genuinely do. And I think it'll be hard for them to adjust Plymouth to a side that had to do a lot of defending last season and a lot of soaking up pressure and playing counter-attack to this season being expected to play on front foot very early. And also Barnes' away form were really good last season. It generally, despite our crap we were at home, we had like a bottom 6 home form, but away from home we were genuinely very good. And we're really good against side that likes to keep ball. I think it could suit us, me personally. I'm generally, looking at it now, I'm generally more worried about Burton at home first game, or second game even than I am about Plymouth away. I'm excited for it now, especially if we get a left winger in. Especially if we get a left winger in. Johnny Bones Men. Chang is leaving. Oh, thank you for £2, mate. Thank you very much. Chang is leaving as Barnsley link shag. He failed his medical here. Chang, another one, we're in building, effectively a signed thing, and then failed his medical. I think it's based on the injury that he got for you before he went to Walsall. And I've no doubt that he's going to leave, yeah? Like, based on some other lads that have left you as well. Because your academy, Birmingham's academy is really good, but it's not good enough to keep up with the pace that Birmingham are moving at and the players that they're bringing in. So a lot of the decent players that Birmingham are bringing through thinking, oh, we could get some of these. Like, these will be all right for us. They're just miles off what Birmingham are now. So obviously they're going to be sold. Chang looks a good player. He looks talented. I do think he'll probably have a decent career. But Barnsley aren't willing to take the risk on, obviously, something that he's done with his knee for Birmingham. Because we've done something like that with Benson. And he's just been sat on bench for 6 years. However long he's been here, 90% of the season he's just sat on bench. And we don't need someone like that anymore. So I don't blame Barnsley for not going through with it. But I do think another midfielder is someone that we're probably going to look at. Otherwise, why would we have gone for Chang in first place? Unless it were precaution for Connell. And maybe that's the reason we've said no to this Connell stuff with Wickham now. I don't know. But, truly, who knows? But thank you for £2, mate. But we ain't getting Chang back. Mr. Nottingham. Just have one more look at this. Delude myself for one last time. Let's play stupid. Right, let's put Koroma. Let's just imagine that Koroma's coming. Even though I doubt he is these days. Let's just go absolutely crazy. And put Koroma in. Let's say, I put him over there. Let's say that when Jello comes back, he's gonna go straight in. Hold on guys, I'm just like fiddling about. Wait a minute. Fabio Jello. Once he's back and fit. Oh, I've got 2 number 11s. We'll give you 14. And then we're looking at something like that. I do then think that once Gent's fit, he's definitely going to be starting. Personally. And I think, again, being a young lad that we can definitely sell on at some point. That's looking somewhat like. That's shaping up. I'm getting an add-on. Let's go one step further. Let's say that Bland is more of a bench option, which I don't think he will be, by the way. I do think he'll start. But let's say that Bland is a bench option, right? And we go and get someone like George Abbott on loan. And then for depth and bench options, once we've actually got everybody fit and ready, you're going to have Ogbeta at left back. You're going to have someone like Roberts, a lot of experience to come on centre half if he's needed. Obviously, they've got Mwakali, Bland, Jorgensen as midfield depth. Assuming Phillips is sold. You've got McGoldrick to come off bench and just score every single week. Farouja could play on right. Obviously, you've got Cleary to come off left. The right back / right centre half situation is still something that's glaringly there. And Dijavigny could maybe be in and around it. But that would cost us nothing. That costs nothing. Nothing at all. George Abbott on loan is going to be on... Mate, he'll be on pittance. I know he's at Tottenham, but he's going to be on a pittance or a wage. He's not going to be on a big wage being a kid. So that's light work. Koroma is going to be the signing. If. This is a big if. Who knows anymore. But if Koroma comes in, it's going to take up a decent wage. It's going to be a big name. And then obviously Gent when he comes back from his injury. When Jallo comes back from his injury. I know Jallo does get injured quite a bit. But hopefully the surgeries that he's had. And I'm just glad none of them have got his knee yet. Because once you get your knee done, then you're in trouble. He's done his shoulder, which has been put back in. And then he did his ankle, didn't he? But you can strengthen his ankle up quite early. He's still young. He'll be fine. That looks really good. And that's by no one. That's by no one. And the depth is half decent there. Does that not look good? Seriously. If that ain't a top 6 squad, I'll eat my own todger. There's just no way. There's no way that don't get top 6, at least. We've got 10 players, lads. All right. Shut up. I know. Guys, I know. George, thank you for the £2, buddy. Where's Ox finishing? Much love, Upper Barnsley. I think he'll be higher than last season because I like what you're doing now, Oxford. Oxford are going down the quality rather than quantity choice, rather than last year when it were complete opposite way around. But you did well to stay up. I mean, Rowett's perfect for you, like absolutely perfect. I think Oxford will be in and around like 14 fish. Let's not take piss. We're not going to put you in top half or playoffs, so daft. But you're building something good, Oxford. You are building something really good. I think you'll be more than safe. You'll be safer than last year. And if you keep making signings like you are doing, like Helig, Spencer, this Belgian fella, you've kept Brannigan all this time. You still need a really good... I think you're missing a big striker. I think a lack of goals could kill you a little bit. But I think Oxford are onto something good, me personally. But thank you, George. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you kindly. Last chance for Jallo. Shame but can't keep waiting. Did what we did. Bunga 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 did what we did with Benson. Yeah, but Jallo's 19. And Jallo is not the long-term future of Barnsley. Because if he's half decent, he'll be off. Do you know what I mean? The hope with Jallo is very clearly get him as much game time as we can. Because he's got, what, 3 years left on his contract. That's a long time for a 19-year-old that we fended off Premier League and Serie A opposition. Bobby Hassel were a large part of that. Promising him game time, which is why I don't think we'll sign a right winger and we'll just use Ferrugia. Because we've promised Jallo game time. We know that he's going to get game time. I think the idea is, if he has an absolute blinder this year, say if he comes back and gets something like, not even out ridiculous, say if he gets 10 goals, something like that, 5 assists, I think you've got a lot of big clubs sniffing around him because he's 19, he's a kid. He scores goals for fun for Portugal's kids. He's scored fun for ours. He's just like, he's very talented in it. We've seen like glimpses of the talent that he's got. And I think Jallo as Luton Ritalova, you are absolutely lost if you think Jallo's going to Luton. If Jallo is to leave, he's going to the Premier League or another top division somewhere else. That's what the teams like that came in for him before he'd had a sniff. Mate, Jallo's going to make us a lot of money. His long-term future is not here. We just hope, give him a good year. If he comes back from his injury and he hits ground running, you're looking at a record sale for the club. And I think that's all they're thinking about. West Brom Champion Vlogs is here again. Thank you for the 5, my friend. West Brom are finalising a deal to sign American defender George Campbell from CF Montreal. Buddy, I wish I had something to say. I wish I had something to say to you. Thank you for the 5 again. So thank you for the 10 this stream. Mate, I wish I had something to say about the signings that you're making. I really do, but I've never heard of any of these guys. One thing I did say on my Championship Live, though, and that I stand by, if West Brom are spending money, rest of the league's in trouble. Because West Brom have just been trotting around on cheap since they got relegated, barely spent out for years, and they've always been in and around playoff picture or just not good enough. If they spend some money, if only they had Carlos, let's put it that way. If they had Carlos, they'd be onto something serious. But West Brom are close. West Brom are close to being a very good side. Let's see what they're doing the last few pre-season games and how they start. But yeah, obviously Mason's new to this. But West Brom are cooking something. West Brom are cooking something up, mate. But thank you for the 5, mate. I do appreciate it a lot. Jallo has Brighton written all over it. True. I could see that, to be honest. Just reading your messages a minute, guys. West Brom are signing some serious NPCs. Yeah, but these will come in and just like eat ground running, won't they? Am I leaving West Brom? I doubt it. Well, boys, thank you again, West Bromwich Albion Vlogs. Very kind of you. You're in here all the time, bro. Just chucking your money at me. I appreciate it a lot. Boys, if that is how we line up with a right back, hopefully, against Plymouth, I'm telling you now, I'm going to start waffling my nut off. I'm going to say it again. And I've been very pessimistic so far. Very pessimistic, thinking, I've not even thought that we're going to get top 6 for a large part of like post-season and then transfer window and being obviously his own as a toolbox. I've not thought we'll even get top 6. I'm now at a point where I think we will be. Even if you take these signings out, if you take Koroma and Abbott out, which are the only 2 new players, by the way, that we don't have, if you take them sort of players out, I'm still thinking we're going to get top 6. Right additions and a fast start. Obviously, with the amount of young uns that Barnsley have got, we're only going to get better as season goes on. I'm liking it. Jallo is a teenager. Bland is a teenager, I think. Gent's 20, I believe. Shepherd's very inexperienced and he's still very good. You've got Jorgen Ethan, Bland, mate. Flav in net as a number 2. We've got a lot of... We're talking about England 2004 golden generation coming through at Barnsley right now. And if they get some game time, off bench a lot of time, as season goes on, we are going to just get better and better and better. So I think if we have a good start, who knows, baby? Who knows? But I would like some signings, please, Barnsley. That would be very nice. I would like some players. Jesus. Boys, absolute pleasure. Thank you always for joining me on this Barnsley-related live. A lot of you aren't even Barnsley fans, but I appreciate you just tuning in anyway. I would like to say as well, this stream is actually sponsored by Match Bingo. Because I forgot to say it, I'm so sorry. Sorry, guys. Guys, come on. Match Bingo right now. Link top of the description. It's the best. It's literally the best. It's the best. It's a bet builder mashed up into a bingo card. It's an alternative to normal gambling, and with the season starting, if you deposit £5, you get £10 for free using the link at the top of my description. Guys, thank you, Match Bingo, as always. Boys, anybody who's donated, I love you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting. Anybody that just watches and lurks, I appreciate you. Anybody that chats, I read them all. Maybe I don't read them all out, but I do read them. And I'm going to try and put them on screen more when I'm reading them out. Make it a bit more immersive. But thank you, boys. Love you all. Kiss. I've got a really good series idea coming out, videos-wise. Like genuinely, I thought to it earlier, and I'm so impressed with myself. But that's going to come out tomorrow, the first one, hopefully. And then the next live will be on Thursday, going back around to League One again. Boys, absolute pleasure. Love you all. Kiss, and I'll see you in a bit. Have a good day. Have a good night. Wherever you are, whatever time of day it is. Haha, you right.